Year 2 as the head coach at East Carolina. I'm sure this past year has flown by for you, but what would you say was the biggest lesson that you learned in year 1?
Just to, learn more and more and more about each one of our players and the relationships that have grown over a year versus just trying to come in and place the names on people and learn names. Now I got to learn, a chance to learn personalities, what people like. Of course, the kids have been at my house a lot more now. So it's just been one of those situations where a great learning experience for the personnel and the people that we have.
You had an idea of what the East Carolina fan base was going to be like before that first game of the season last year, but now that you've gone through a full season, was that passion what you anticipated, or was it far greater?
It's far greater. I really believe that the games that we won, especially in the NC State game and even the UConn game, the games that we won, our kids were depleted from a numbers standpoint. We didn't have very many guys out there for a lot of reasons, but Pirate Nation brought us over the hump. I mean, really, it was a steaming day at NC State, and we didn't have a lot of guys in uniform that day, and they brought, they travel like they travel, and it was good that we played at home, but Pirate Nation gave us about 50,000 more that was, very beneficial for us in the fourth quarter.
You just mentioned it, but your team was bitten by the injury bug in 2016, and you had some big wins and you suffered some close losses, but what do you think the returners on this year's team took away from that adversity that you faced last season? Well,
it started in December. They know that they had to take care of their bodies to the utmost. I think we have the best strength and conditioning coach in the entire country. I think that they understood that. They understand that now a lot better than they did, 12 months ago. We're in better shape, but we did also, our guys knew, and I've talked to Jordan and Jimmy, they knew that we needed help in some situations in different places, and that's what we tried to do. But the biggest thing that we'll say is that they've taken care of their body a lot better than they did last year, and understanding the mode of the season, that we got a long season. And this year, another thing that helps us, we got an early bye week as we come into a very hard part of our schedule. So we're really looking forward to that.
We saw Gardner Minshew step in at the quarterback position last season. What did you learn about him through live game experience?
Very smart, great understanding of his teammates. He knows his personnel really well. The biggest thing is he's a competitor. We got him late in the summer, and he knew very little about our offense, but by the time we got rolling in September or October, he knew a lot more of our offense, but he knew our offense from a different standpoint. This year, he knows that he can correct it. We're going to have very few bad calls because of his ability to know what we want versus us just sitting in a play and that play being ran against something that we potentially not wanting it ran against, because he knew the offense, but he didn't know how the offense worked against other things. So we've been really, really impressed with him over this last year.
Ultimately, what are you looking for in a quarterback to execute the type of offense that you're trying to run this season?
I want the ball out of their hands. I don't want the ball being held all the time. I think one of our biggest problems in the way that we got hit last year at different times didn't necessarily all stem from offensive line play. I think we could get the ball out in 2-6, 2-7, a lot more in the 5-step game, and then use our quick game to use some of our receivers that we have out on the perimeter that are extremely talented. I think that's what we need from a quarterback, and also we've got to take care of the football. And taking care of the football isn't just not throwing picks, or it's just not throwing, or fumbling the football. It's also understanding where we are in the game and understanding that, this completion for 3 yards may give us 3 points versus not getting the completion and we're punting the ball. So that's taking care of the football. I'm looking forward to our quarterbacks doing that moving forward.
Pirate fans are starting to get used to saying goodbye to some of the nation's top receivers. A reoccurring trend here the past couple of years, but it was Justin Hardy a couple years ago, and then most recently you had a chance to coach him, Zay Jones. But the good news is you have your core group of receivers coming back. Who do you expect to emerge out of that group?
Well, we know that Jimmy Williams is going to have a big year. I mean, we all know that. We've had some battles in our defensive meeting rooms with me in there because Jimmy Williams making too many plays against us. So, we know that Jimmy will be a guy, but we also return Grayson and Brown, who we didn't have last year at all, that were kind of scheduled to be our number 2 and our number 3 receivers coming into the year. And now when you add those guys back to, some of the other players that we have at the position, We have a lot more depth this year. I think we have at least the same amount of talent, if not more. And we're really looking forward to seeing how that room pans out. I think we're going to be able to play 6 or 7 guys and play those guys at a high level.
When I looked at your schedule this year, I was like, man, there is no break. There is no easy games. Your non-conference schedule is tough. Your opening game is tough. And then the conference schedule isn't easy either. How do you manage such a tough slate of games this whole season and keep these guys rolling all the way through December?
And I'm from Cleveland County, North Carolina, and I went to a high school that no one probably would have said that I was going to the university that I went to, and then after that, the university that I went to, no one said, you're going to be going to the NFL, and then after that, people after you leave the NFL, like, what are you going to do next? I don't worry about that, man. We're right in the middle of this journey, and it feels good. A lot of people want to, they want to do what we do, and we all understand that. But we also understand we're not the same football team that we were last year. As well as there are no breaks on our schedule, when people come to Greenville, there's no breaks on our schedule. So we understand that. We are confident right now. We feel really good. We've made some additions that we think will help us not only this year, but the next 3 to 4 years and continue to grow. We're building all over the place. We understand where we are. There are no breaks. This is college football. A lot of times when you go into seasons like this, one of the most successful seasons we had at my last university, it was very similar. We started big and we had all these teams on there, and 12 weeks later, 13 weeks later, we were in the ACC championship from somewhere that people didn't think that we could, even win 4 or 5 games. So we look forward to this challenge. I'm excited about it.